Hey guys, it's Isabel. Welcome back to my video blog or my vlog number 2 on the book Predictably, Irrational. And today I'll be talking more about chapters 4 through 6. Okay, so the first chapter I'm going to talk about is chapter 4. So for chapter 4, the topic was social norms. And the discussion question that we were given was, are we more compelled to do a task when we know we're going to be compensated for it? Are we willing to work just as hard for something or for someone when we are going to be compensated versus if we're not going to be compensated? And the example that I thought kind of showed this, and then that was a great layout, a visual, was the moving of the couch example. And so the previous example leading up to it was about the 4 groups of people they had moving circles on a computer, and one group was going to be compensated $5, the other group was going to be compensated like 50 cents or something, and the other group didn't even mention money. And they found that the group that had $5 worked harder, but 50 cents worked the least hard. But leading that into the couch example, it said that people who asked for people's help to move the couch without the mention of money were willing to help with no problem because there wasn't a mention of money. People who were asked to help with the reward of money were more likely to say no because I thought the payment was too low. And so I think from what I got from a personal experience and from just what I got out of the reading itself was people are willing to help you out with certain tasks or to help you to do a certain job depending on what it is. But for that example, if you leave money out of it, sometimes people are just going to do that for a favor. But when you put money into the equation, people are going to be more difficult with saying yes to do it because I think, well, that doesn't match what you're willing to pay me. The task you want me to do doesn't fill or match the amount of money that you're paying me. They're more likely going to say, oh no, I'll do it for $10 instead of $5 or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that was very interesting. And we do tend to follow the social norm. It does in marketing, like we say, it does depend on the situation. And most humans react in a certain way, but when it's considered a favor, it's helping somebody out, like moving a couch, people are willing to help out without a compensation. But if it's for another specific job where you are using your skills, people are going to react differently to that. So as a lot of times in marketing, it just depends. But that was a very good example about how the social norm kind of affects and how money plays a big part into that equation. So the second chapter we had to talk about was about self-control and procrastination. And as college students, we know a lot about procrastination. I mean, just people in general, people are procrastinators. And the discussion topic was, are companies capitalizing off of procrastination and self-control and all this kind of stuff? And so just in general, as a college student, I am guilty of procrastination on many accounts. But I do think that some companies, just from my initial, when I first started reading this chapter, the first thing that came to mind when asked, do companies capitalize on this? Well, yeah, to a certain extent, there are companies that capitalize and kind of motivate you to have less self-control and to procrastinate more. So there are websites out there that help you to write essays for you or will do your grammar work for you. And not that that's a bad thing, but people who are willing to, you can submit online stuff to people who write your papers. There are things that help you to procrastinate more. So I do think that companies do capitalize on that. But there was an example that was used in terms of healthcare and self-control and procrastination. They used it in the terms of bribery. The example was used that a lot of people will put off going to the doctor because they don't want to pay that copay, or they don't want to pay for this examination or that lab work, or et cetera, for just a general checkup or whatever the case may be. So the thing was if this was put in place where you put a deposit down, and if you come back If you come to your appointment on time, on the date you set it, and you come in right away, then we will give you back, or you will get a reward for that. You will get half of your copay back, or you'll get your copay back in general. So there's that motivation to get there on time to do it. But the example in healthcare, I mean, for everybody was pretty much relatable. Just for the fact that we don't want to go to the doctor and get all these lab works done and get all these checkups because copays are expensive in case we need another lab work done or another whatever, MRI, things like that. Things just add up, and we want to avoid paying it. So we're going to procrastinate more and more, but you can't really do that with your health. Sometimes that's how it is. So that was a very good example. But yes, companies do capitalize on procrastination. And the longer you wait for certain things, the more money they're going to make. Like banks and credit card companies, the longer you wait to pay your bills, the more money they add to your monthly statement or whatever the case may be. So I do think that companies capitalize on that. And it was very interesting to see these different examples of from credit card companies to healthcare. And if they gave us a reward or compensation for it, would we go in sooner and procrastinate less? But yeah, so yeah, this is the review of chapters 4-6 for Predictably Irrational. Hope you guys all have a great sunny weekend and happy St. Patty's Day.